Hello and welcome back to Random Familia Chat. Thank you very much for joining us. And this morning, we are going to be talking about Canada's COVID-19 Economic Response Plan. Stay tuned. The Government of Canada is taking immediate, significant, and decisive action to help Canadians facing hardship as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak. On March 18, 2020, the Prime Minister announced a new set of economic measures to help stabilize the economy during this challenging period. These measures, delivered as part of the Government of Canada's COVID-19 Economic Response Plan, will provide up to $27 billion in direct support to Canadian workers and businesses. Support to Canadians. For Canadians without paid sick leave or similar workplace accommodation who are sick, quarantined, or forced to stay home to care for children, the government is waiving the 1-week waiting period for those individuals in imposed quarantine that claim employment insurance, or EI, sickness benefits. This temporary measure will be in effect as of March 15, 2020. Waiving the requirement to provide a medical certificate to access EI sickness benefits. Introducing the emergency care benefit, providing up to $900 bi-weekly for up to 15 weeks. This flat payment benefit would be administered through the Canada Revenue Agency and provide income support to workers, including the self-employed, who are quarantined or sick with COVID-19 but do not qualify for EI sickness benefits. Workers, including the self-employed, who are taking care of a family member who is sick with COVID-19, such as an elderly parent, but do not qualify for EI sickness benefits. Parents with children who require care or supervision due to school closures and are unable to earn employment income, irrespective or whether they qualify for EI or not. Application for the benefit will be available in April 2020 and require Canadians to attest that they meet the eligibility requirements. They will need to reattest every 2 weeks to reconfirm their eligibility. Canadians will select one of the 3 channels to apply for the benefit by accessing it on their CRA My Account secure portal, by accessing it from their secure My Service Canada account, or by calling a toll-free number equipped with an automated application process. Long-term income support for workers. For Canadians who lose their jobs or face reduced hours as a result of COVID's impact, the government is introducing an emergency support benefit delivered through the CRA to provide up to $5 billion in support to workers who are not eligible for EI and who are facing unemployment. Implementing the EI Work Sharing Program, which provides EI benefits to workers who agree to reduce their normal working hour as a result of developments beyond the control of their employers, by extending the eligibility of such agreements to 76 weeks, easing eligibility requirements, and streamlining the application process. This was announced by the Prime Minister on March 11, 2020. Income support for individuals who need it most. For over 12 million low and modest income families who may require additional help with their finances, the government is proposing to provide a one-time special payment by early May 2020 through the Goods and Services Tax Credit. This will double the maximum annual GSTC payment amounts for the next 2019-2020 benefit year. The average boost to income for those benefiting from this measure will be close to $400 for single individuals and close to $600 for couples. This measure will inject $5.5 billion into the economy. For over 3.5 million families with children who may also require additional support, the government is proposing to increase the maximum annual Canada Child Benefit payment amounts only for the 2019 to 2020 benefit year by $300 per child. The overall increase for families receiving CCB will be approximately $550 on average. These families will receive an extra $300 per child as part of their May payment. In total, this measure will deliver almost $2 billion in extra support. Together, the proposed enhancements of the GSTC and CCB will give a single parent with 2 children and low to modest income nearly $1,500 in additional short-term support. To ensure that certain groups who may be vulnerable to the impacts of COVID-19 have the support they need, the government is proposing targeted help by providing $305 million for a new distinctions-based Indigenous Community Support Fund to address immediate needs in First Nations, Inuit, and Métis Nation communities, placing a 6-month interest-free moratorium on the repayment of Canada student loans for all individuals currently in the process of repaying these loans, reducing required minimum withdrawals from registered retired income funds by 25% for 2020, in recognition of volatile market conditions and their impact on many seniors' retirement savings. Will provide flexibility to seniors that are concerned that they may be required to liquidate their RRIF assets to meet minimum withdrawal requirements. Similar rules would apply to individuals receiving variable benefit payments under a defined contribution registered pension plan. Providing the Reaching Home initiative with $157.5 million to continue to support people experiencing homelessness during the COVID-19 outbreak. The funding could be used for a range of needs such as purchasing beds and physical barriers for social distancing and securing accommodation to reduce overcrowding in shelters. Supporting women and children fleeing violence by providing up to $50 million to women's shelters and sexual assault centers to help with their capacity to manage or prevent an outbreak in their facilities. This includes funding for facilities in Indigenous communities. Flexibility for taxpayers. In order to provide greater flexibility to Canadians who may be experiencing hardships during the COVID-19 outbreak, the Canada Revenue Agency will defer the filing due date for the 2019 tax returns of individuals, including certain trusts. For individuals other than trusts, the return filing date will be deferred until June 1st, 2020. However, the agency encourages individuals who expect to receive benefits under the GSTC or Canada Child Benefit not to delay the filing of their return to ensure their entitlements for the 2020 and to 2021 benefit year are properly determined. For trusts having a taxation year ending on the December 31st, 2019, the return filing due date will be deferred until May 1st, 2020. The Canada Revenue Agency will allow all taxpayers to defer until after August 31st, 2020, the payment of any income tax amounts that become owing on or after today and before September 2020. This relief would apply to tax balances due as well as installments under Part 1 of the Income Tax Act. No interest or penalties will accumulate on these amounts during this period. In order to reduce the necessity for taxpayers and tax prepayers to meet in person during this difficult time and to reduce administrative burden, effective immediately, the Canada Revenue Agency will recognize electronic signatures as having met the signature requirements of the Income Tax Act as a temporary administrative measure. This provision applies to authorization forms T183 or T183 Corp, which are forms that are signed in person by millions of Canadians every year to authorize tax prepayers to file taxes. So as you can see, there are many things that the Government of Canada is putting into place to help Canadians to be able to not go into economic ruin. Take a look at the Canadian webpage. It will allow you to see the Canada.ca webpage. Just put Canada.ca and throw coronavirus or COVID-19 on there in Google, and you will find that it will give you all the information that you will need on what Canada is doing to help make sure that Canadians do not go into ruin at this time. And now in this time, I'm also going to ask you all to make sure that you're doing as you're supposed to be doing. Practice social distancing when you can. As much as you can, stay indoors. Continue doing things that you regularly would. This doesn't mean that Armageddon has come or it's going to come. We can still live our lives. And it is hard for all of us to make the adjustments. But these things need to happen in order to put a stop to the coronavirus. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.